Oops.
Dude, you just totally kicked my applesauce and cashews.
Why are they on the floor?
You know what? Before this turns into an argument, let's go through the 9 steps of conflict resolution. Yes, there are 9 steps. First, let's identify and define what is the issue. Is it a topical issue? Is it something that I did or something that you did? Is it a relationship issue? Is there a problem in our relationship that causes you to kick my applesauce and my cashews? Is there a group issue? Is there someone watching us that just totally doesn't want my applesauce and cashews to be consumed? Whose issue is it? Is it my issue? Is it your issue? Is it the creepy person that doesn't want my applesauce and cashews to be consumed?
What?
Okay. So what is the issue?
I don't have a problem with you personally, but I feel like it's probably more your problem because it's your food that's been kicked and stomped around.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But it's also your problem. You kicked and stomped on my food. Yeah. So the problem is my food was left on the floor and you kicked and stomped it. Is that correct?
That sounds reasonable, yes.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
So we both agreed that the issue is that my food was left on the floor and you kicked and stomped it.
I did, yes. That seems to be the way I would call it.
How about we make a contract about when we are going to meet, the ground rules for how we're going to talk, and any ground rules or about anything. Does that sound reasonable?
That sounds reasonable, I suppose.
I will just pull this up and let's make a contract. Okay, do we agree to meet right now?
I can agree to that, yes.
We agree to meet right now. Do we agree to talk civilly?
I believe so. Especially because it's quiet hours.
Civil conversation and quiet hours. That is smart. Quiet. No yelling. Are there any rules that you suggest we should have?
I think everybody should get to say what they're thinking, not to be interrupted.
Do you agree with this saying everybody should be able to speak time, should be able to have time to speak their mind?
I believe that is a very reasonable thing.
Do you feel like, if need be, I could call a timeout?
Yes.
If
That
it
could
gets
be.
too heated, I can call a timeout, right?
That would be healthy.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to ensure that this conflict resolution goes as smoothly as possible?
I think we've covered it all.
We've covered it all. Do you feel we have a good contract here?
I do, yes.
Okay. I feel that's a good contract as well. Should we shake on it?
Let's.
Good contract. Okay, let's see. Now that we have our contract, do you understand the issue completely? So, do you understand it?
It seems pretty cut and dry.
I saw you step on my applesauce and cashews. And I heard the sound that they made when they fell to the ground and they clambered together. And I think that it wasn't very nice to step on my applesauce and cashews, and I felt hurt because my applesauce and cashews are now dented and dusty because of your shoe miss.
Well, yes, those are facts. From my perspective, I would like to point out that as somebody who is obviously very loving and caring of both the cashews and the applesauce, I feel that perhaps on your part there was a tad bit of negligence by leaving them on the floor so that they could, in such a way that they could be kicked and stomped by anybody walking by. Might not have been me had this been a different day or a different hour even.
So how do you feel about my cashews and my applesauce being kicked on the floor?
I feel that while I do have stake in the blame for their unfortunate kicking and squashing, if you may, but I feel that there's also some bit on your part as well for leaving them in such a way.
Okay, so I am currently sitting here with my cashews and applesauce on the floor. I have been sitting here for a while with them like that. I think I will try to keep them off the floor. Is there something you will do?
I think it would be good of me, considering I'm a man of large stature, large feet, that it would be very good for me to pay more attention to where I'm going, so as not to step on any food in the future.
Okay. Well, I want for myself to not have my applesauce and my cashews trampled on. What do you want for yourself?
I would like to not step on other people's cashews and applesauce, because when you do that, you're less likely to be offered some. So if I want some cashews and applesauce, it often helps my case to not step on them first.
Well, I want for you to not have to step on my cashews and my applesauce. What is it that you would like from me?
I would like for you to be aware of what a precious gift it can be, and just being aware of the care that is required in the house up there somewhere.
That is so true, so true. They are precious. Yes. I would like for the person that is watching this that doesn't want me to eat my applesauce and cashews to not have to watch them be trampled on. What would you like for the person that would not like me to eat my cashews and applesauce?
I would say the same. It's pretty blanketing.
Yeah. Why don't we brainstorm small options that include new possibilities for what we can do in the future? And what can we do? I can not leave my cashews and my applesauce on the floor.
Indeed, and I could, it's like when you drive and you look back and forth between the road and your speedometer to make sure that and so I could implore something like that to watch where I'm going more on the floor, but also switch between that and look at where I'm going straight ahead of myself.
Yeah.
That is something that's very possible.
So previously I have been leaving my cashews and applesauce on the floor, and that didn't work. So what are the best outcomes for you watching where you're going and like a speedometer?
Well, I would definitely be far less likely to step on anyone's cashews and applesauce in the future. Even just stepping on anything, because I could trip over charging cables for laptops. I could be stepping on papers and books and other things. I mean, I'm just a large person. Sometimes it's hard for me to not step on things, so that would prevent future little tiffs such as this.
What do you feel would be the worst outcome of your planned action of watching where you step like a speedometer?
Well, I mean, there's always the potential for me to be watching one part too closely, for me to be watching too much on the floor and not see, say, a wall that I could be walking into, or I could be watching too much ahead and again find myself in the same situation I am now. It could completely circle.
Yeah. I think the best possible outcome for not leaving my cashews and applesauce on the floor is they don't get trampled anymore. The worst option is I don't have them as close and they're harder to reach and harder to eat. So let's choose actions that are the most workable and beneficial for our SOS system, self, other, and stakeholder. I think the best option for that would be I try not to leave my applesauce and my cashews on the floor, and you could pay attention to the floor and the surrounding area like a speedometer. I think that is the best option. I will stop doing this by the time we finish this conversation.
Sounds good. And I will begin my new process as soon as this conversation is over as well.
So let's stop for a moment and imagine ourselves and others and what we have chosen, our chosen actions. And let's imagine what it would be like if we actually carry out those actions. Have you considered it?
I have indeed. Have you?
Yes, I have. I feel like the best possible thing, it'll work really well if I just don't leave my applesauce and cashew on the floor. I feel like it really will.
Yes, and I feel that by being a careful balance of watching where I'm going on all levels would result in a very happy situation for everyone, for everyone involved.
Now let's implement our future actions and carry out and follow through with our commitments and promises. They are not on the floor anymore.
Doing a careful scan where I go.
Did it work?
It did indeed.
It
I did
worked.
not trample anything, let alone cashews and applesauce.
It worked. The 9-step process for conflict resolution has worked. My applesauce and cashews will no longer be trampled. This is Natasha Ray, and this was my video for Interpersonal Communications. Thank you.